Good morning. It is Tuesday, February the 25th of 2025. I am Chad Holmes. This is the Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. It is another very, very pleasant start here in north central Wisconsin at our downtown Wausau studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street. Fair skies, lots of blue skies. The sun is rising. Really a wonderful way to start the day. And the temperature, again, is above the freezing mark very early. Temperature stands at 33 degrees. Another day that we will likely get into the 40s before we get a little small dose of some winter-like weather tonight into tomorrow. Unfortunately, today, Brittney Merlot will not be with us. She's off today. She'll be back with us for the rest of the week, she says, but we'll still talk about the weather coming up. We will also talk a bit about another little piece of news when it comes to the ethics investigation concerning the mayor of Wausau, Doug Denny. Last night, the mayor, again, that nominated a local GOP worker, somebody that works in the office of Congressman Tom Tiffany. And some interesting social media posting showing this man loves those Trump votes. But again, interesting that the mayor has nominated this person as an alternate member of the Wausau Ethics Board. And who knows? I mean, there's not, I don't think it would be outside the realm of possibility that alternate members of the board would end up ultimately making a decision on this ethics complaint concerning the Dropbox. We've already seen one member of the ethics board recuse themselves from this matter. But we'll get some more information and kind of talk about what the mayor is trying to do here in terms of adding a friendly voice, a friendly person, perhaps, to the judgment of his ethics violation complaint. So we'll talk about that coming up. Coming up at the top of the second hour after our information update, we'll be joined by Robyn Vargas from the Marathon County Public Library. It'll be a nice, pleasant walk from the downtown location of the library here to our studios. For Robyn, we'll talk about what's going on at the library here this week. And then, of course, at the end of the program, we will have our daily history lesson. Talk about some of the famous events that occur on this date in history, some celebrity birthdays, what special events are being acknowledged here today. And of course, we will have our number for the day quiz, and we will give the quiz to our in-studio engineer, Ian Welsh. And good morning, Ian Welsh.
Good morning, Chad.
0 for 1 this week.
I got some work to do. Absolutely.
It's been such a struggle. You're like a great shooter on the basketball court. And some days you can nail it all. You hit those 3-pointers. Anything you throw up goes in. And then all of a sudden you just get on a little bit of a cold stretch where all of a sudden the ball goes halfway down and then it honeycombs out. It's still a good shot, but then it just doesn't go in. Right now, those shots just are not going in. So we're going to try to get you back on the winning track here today with the number for the day quiz. And what we do is we give Ian 3 choices, 1 of which is correct, 2 of which are not correct. So based on the math, should get 33% correct and we want him to be above 33% for a passing grade. Below 33% is a failing grade for the week. But we usually have greater goals. But at this point, I'm just trying to focus on getting us a passing grade.
Start somewhere.
Yep.
Right?
Once you get to that passing grade, then we'll talk about the winning week, which is 3 out of 5. Then right now, in order to match your all-time best week, you'd have to get the rest of the week right because you've done 4 out of 5 a couple of times, and we're still striving for the ultimate, where all the balloons would start flying. We'd have a parade down Washington Street where you got 5 out of 5 right. So we're still working on that, but plenty of excitement. Can Ian get back on the winning track? We'll do that at about 9:56 this morning here on the program. Need to remind you tonight, big broadcast. We have a big one here tonight. High school sectional hockey. Yep, the Wausau West hockey team is just 2 wins away from a trip to the state tournament. And the Warriors will be in action at Marathon Park's Ice Arena tonight. Really tough matchup against a fantastic team. Couple of ranked teams at the end of the regular season. The number 6 ranked team in the state was Wausau West. The number 5 ranked team in the state, New Richmond. For this bracket, Wausau West is the number 2 seed in the bracket, and New Richmond is the number 3 seed in the bracket. But the number 1 seed, Stevens Point, was eliminated last Thursday. They lost to Chippewa Falls 4-1 in a regional final. So that means these are the top 2 seeded teams remaining in the bracket. And obviously, both teams now are seeing, holy cow, we got a pathway towards the state tournament. So it should be just a fantastic night. We had a fantastic environment, an exciting game on Thursday where the Warriors rallied past Superior to win in overtime 4-3. And now tonight, sectional semifinal against a really good New Richmond team. New Richmond, in fact, made it to the state tournament last year as a Division II team. This year, they're in Division I because the WIAA has this success quotient where if you're really good for a number of years, you get bumped up a division, and that's what they've done. So New Richmond and Wausau West tonight. I'll be at the Marathon Park Ice Arena. If you can't make it yourself, tune in, starting with the pregame show at 6:50 and the opening face-off at 7 o'clock right here on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Also, we would like you to join us here on the show, something that we really want you to feel comfortable letting your voice be heard. If you have any thoughts on the news of the day, anything that we're talking about, anything we're not talking about, if there's something that we should be talking about, you think that we should be bringing up, we would love to hear from you. You can call us or text us. Same number, real simple, 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297. The rest of the day, when you listen to our Civic Media programming, there's a different number. That's our network number. If you use that during these 2 hours, you would go to the network hub down in the southern part of the state. So if you want to be part of this program, call or text us at 715-382-9297. And of course, you can also use your Civic Media app on the 98.9 WXCO part of the app. Just download the app. Go to your app store, search Civic Media. It's a free app. It's a wonderful app. Download it, and then you'll be in touch with every station on the Civic Media radio network. And in fact, I think Civic Media has only had Wisconsin radio stations up to this point. But I've heard rumbles that Civic Media is going to get a Minnesota station. So I'm sure that'll be on the app as well. But really exciting times as Civic Media continues to grow, and looking forward to getting more information on that. But then every station on the Civic Media radio network, you'll be able to tune in at any time by getting the app, and of course 98.9 WXCO. And we would love you to get that app and then use the app to call or text us as well. Also, real fast, I forgot to mention that you can also join us here this morning by going to YouTube. We have our own 98.9 WXCO page on YouTube, and we have a video stream of this program. Just go to the 98.9 WXCO part of the YouTube and the YouTube. I sound like such an idiot there. YouTube.com. And then you can also make your comments there as well. So, again, lots on the plate. And I guess one more thing I got to mention before we start to get into the main thrust of our program here this morning. Tomorrow morning, you'll get a double dose of me because from 6 until 8 a.m., I will be guest hosting Pat Kreitlow's show. And Pat is off this week. Not off like a vacation. He was off on a vacation 2 weeks ago. He's part of the group. Oh, I'm trying to remember. Up North News is part of a larger group of news organizations around the country, and they're having some sort of seminar get together this week. So Pat is doing that Monday through Thursday. He'll be back on Up North News on Friday, but tomorrow morning I will be the host of the program, and
nice.
We will have on that program. In fact, and I forgot to mention to you, coming up later this afternoon, I have some young people coming into our studio from the Wausau West High School girls wrestling team. And this weekend, starting on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, down in Madison, the WIAA Girls State Individual Wrestling Meet. And this is something that's pretty new. I think it's only the second or third year that the WIAA has been sponsoring girls wrestling. And 4 members of the Wausau West High School girls wrestling team have earned spots at the state tournament. And they'll be heading down to Madison tomorrow and coming up after school today. They can't come in live because they're actually in school right now. And they're going to come in here to studio. And we've done this before where we had 4 different guests come in. So it gets a little tight in here. But we will have the 4 girls from the Wausau West wrestling team that will be heading to the state tournament. And we will hear that discussion on Up North News tomorrow morning at 6:35. And then we'll also hear it on my program at 9:35 tomorrow morning as well. So looking forward to that. And also tomorrow morning on Up North News, Jimmy Kuska will join us, talk some high school sports at 7:35 as well. So if you can, wake up extra early. I'll be waking up extra early tomorrow as well, as we will have the substitute hosting duties on Up North News Radio from 6 till 8. And then we'll be back here tomorrow from 8 till 10, as we normally do every other Wednesday. Bob Look will join us for the first hour of the program. And then we'll also have Sean Wright from the Grand Theater joining us in hour 2, in addition to that interview with the Wausau West girls wrestlers heading to state. So lots of activity on the plate for tomorrow morning. No Brittney. So coming up next, we'll touch on the weather and then touch on the mayor of Wausau, and the ethics investigation going on. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. Are you available to come in this afternoon at about 3:15?
Yes, I can do that.
Then you can record us and take some pictures and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
All right, very good. The Wausau West High School hockey team is just 2 wins away from a trip to the state tournament. On Tuesday, the Warriors will play host to New Richmond in a Division I sectional semifinal. Hear all the exciting action live on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app, starting with the pregame show at 6:50 and the opening face-off at 7 p.m. Wausau West Hockey on 98.9 WXCO is brought to you by the Cloverbelt Credit Union, Red Robin Restaurants, Sun Printing, the Wausau West Athletic Department, Coast to Coast Marketing, and the Wausau West Hockey Booster Club. It's Wausau West versus New Richmond in a Division I hockey sectional semifinal. Tuesday night, starting with pregame show at 6:50, opening face-off at 7 on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app.
Said to fight to make ends meet, keeps a man up on his feet, holding down his job, trying to show he can't be bought. Who takes every kind of people to make what life's about?
Chad Holmes, 98.9 WXCO. 98 WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Every kind of people, and it takes every kind of people to be on an ethics board as well. We're going to talk about that here in just a moment, but normally during this time, we are joined by our meteorologist, Brittney Merlot, to talk about the weather. And today, Brittney is unavailable, so just really quickly to talk about the forecast. Beautiful start. Beautiful morning here in downtown Wausau. And today, we expect another very nice day. A lot of sunshine, warm temperatures, way above normal. 42 degrees expected for the high temperature today here in downtown Wausau. But then we will start to see again that wintry mix coming up tonight. Some rain likely before 2 a.m. Then that will turn to a mix of rain and snow, and then snow likely after 3 a.m. A low around 30 degrees. Calm winds becoming southeast around 6 miles per hour after midnight. Overnight accumulation less than half an inch possible. Tomorrow, a chance of snow before 9 a.m., then a chance of rain between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and a high near 43. New snow accumulation expected to be less than half an inch possible. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy and 30, and then Thursday, mostly cloudy and 38 degrees. Another day in the low 40s on Friday, and then we dip a little bit for the weekend with temperatures hanging around the upper 20s to lower 30s. Right now, again, in downtown Wausau, fair skies, 33 degrees is the temperature. The winds are out of the northwest at 6 miles per hour, so a wind chill factor of 27. Dew point is 26 degrees, relative humidity of 75%. The barometer at 29.76 inches, and a visibility of 10 miles. Said it, every kind of people. And the thing about any board, and we talked about this last week when the Wausau Ethics Board held a meeting last Wednesday discussing the issue involving the mayor of Wausau and the removal of the drop box. The mayor was pointing out that there are actually the mayor and his allies, including Chris Conley of WSAU, were pointing out, well, this person gave money to Katie Rosenberg, or this person is a supporter of Katie Rosenberg, and they should not be on the board. It seems a little, just a little hypocritical then for the mayor of Wausau to make a nomination last night to a local Republican operative, and those are the words of the Wausau Pilot and Review, to serve as an alternate member of the Wausau Ethics Board. And of course, the mayor making this nomination of a Republican operative, a man that works in the office of Tom Tiffany, to the ethics board, which happens to be the same board that is right now investigating the mayor of Wausau for an ethics-related complaint against him. Before we get to the details of this gentleman, and I think many of you may have seen some postings of his social media account, very much mega. He was part of a big Trump boat rally back during the Trump reelection campaign in 2020 in Lincoln County, and has shown his mega stripes very proudly. But the idea, and maybe you'll be surprised by this, and I'm not saying for this particular person, but we're not going to get people that have no political beliefs on these boards. But we need good people who would be willing to step outside their political biases and be open to looking at the evidence. And we had a discussion last week on this program when we had the chair of the Marathon County Democratic Party, Nancy Stencil, with us, and we were talking a little bit about this issue and talking a bit about that meeting last week. And one of the people that were pointed out by Chris Conley in one of his opinion articles at WSAU.com was a man named Doug Hostler. Doug Hostler was a very long-serving professor at the University of Wisconsin Marathon County, now the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point at Wausau, a person that I took a class from, a person who was our faculty advisor for our independent theater group back when I was going to school there in the early 1990s, and a man that I feel is a man of great integrity. And whether or not he gave a donation to Mayor Katie Rosenberg or not does not take away the fact that at the core of my being, and I think at the core of anybody that knows Doug Hostler, that he would be able to look at evidence and say, hey, either there is evidence there that there's an ethics violation, or there is not evidence there that there's an ethics violation. And I would have the same thinking when it came to somebody that may have been somebody that gave money to Doug Denny's campaign. That does not disqualify you from being a member of one of these boards, including the ethics board of the city of Wausau. But I think this has taken it to that next level. This is a person who is working currently for mega Congressman Tom Tiffany. He is a person that has shown his stripes many, many, many times when it comes to his political beliefs. And the timing of it comes across as rather interesting when it comes to being put onto this board at this very time in our history where there is a current ethics violation being investigated against the mayor. So we're going to continue on this, give you a little bit more information after an information update. The time is 8:29. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. This week in high school sports, state tournament bids will be handed out in high school hockey. The girls' basketball playoffs getting underway, and the boys wrapping up their regular season. We'll talk all about it Wednesday from 6 till 8 p.m. on the Big High School Sports Show on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. I'm Chad Holmes, joined Jeff Gress and myself, plus our special guests. At 7:06, it'll be our student athlete guest for this week, multi-sport athlete from DC Everest, Cohen Prevey. And then at 7:25, our coach guest, first-year Mosinee girls basketball coach Josh Howe. It is the Big High School Sports Show, presented by K5 Construction, Wednesday night, 6 till 8 p.m. on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app.
Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I just don't know what to feel. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to feel. Everything I thought that I knew starts to look so unreal. There's a ringing in my head that keeps me awake at night. Sometimes I don't know what is right. The day I saw a car was the little dog under its wheel. It did not even stop.
Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. And, of course, we want you to make sure to keep tuned in to Civic Media and 98.9 WXCO, not just for this program, not just here in the morning. We would love for you to stick around for the rest of the day as well. In fact, coming up after we're done, Matt and Air on Air will be on from 10 a.m. until noon today. Jane and Greg will be joined by State Senator Brad Pfaff to discuss the right to repair legislation that was introduced last week and what it would mean for farmers throughout Wisconsin. Todd Alba will then be on the air from noon until 2. Maggie Dawn from 2 until 4. She'll be joined by Civic Media political editor Dan Schaefer to discuss the state news you need to know this week. And then also they'll have a conversation for some of the things your Black history lessons in school may not have taught you about Martin Luther King Jr. So tune in for that. So again, Matt and Air on Air from 10 till noon, Todd Alba from noon till 2, Maggie Dawn from 2 till 4. So once we're done, keep the radio on, keep it tuned in right here on 98.9 WXCO. Talking a bit about last night, and last night, Mayor Doug Denny of the city of Wausau again nominated a local Republican operative to serve as an alternate member of the Wausau Ethics Board, according to WausauPilotandReview.com. And started the discussion by talking about that. Hey, the idea that the mayor puts a Republican on this board is not an outrage. The thing about it that concerns me, because as I said, none of us have no political biases or political beliefs. You can call it a bias or a belief. But when it comes to sitting on an ethics board or, hey, sitting on a jury, that's why you go through the process of trying to put 12 people on a jury. It's not that they have no beliefs, but are these 12 people able to set aside any of their beliefs and just take the evidence and then make a fair decision? And as I said in the last segment, it's not that somebody may have given money to Doug Denny or Katie Rosenberg or Joe Biden or Donald Trump or whoever it may be. Can that person put aside any political beliefs or biases and take a look at the evidence and be able to make a fair decision? And when it comes to the person that has been nominated, the reason I have question marks or questions about the person Dylan Anderson, is because of what we are seeing from mega appointees all around the country these days. Number one, again, Dylan Anderson is a constituent services director for Republican Tom Tiffany. It's an alternate position on the board. But the thing is, often folks on the board are either self-removed, where you just feel like, hey, I have a conflict of interest, or for whatever other reason. And the position of an alternate member has been vacant for well over a year. So it's a position that has not been filled for quite a while. It is interesting timing, I will say, that this position now will be an appointee has been nominated to fill it. And this person has been close to being nominated a couple of different times. He was withdrawn after an April 2024 meeting. Actually, the February 20th meeting, because apparently was too busy, but now not too busy. And that's a question that in the article that Council President Lisa Rasmussen raises about the timing of this nomination. Rasmussen told the pilot that I have concerns about the nomination that has been placed back in front of the council for this week. It seems odd that the mayor told us an hour before the last meeting that the nominee withdrew his name for time constraints, yet the day after the ethics board moved the complaint forward for investigation, this applicant now managed to find the time. Rasmussen, who represents District 7, says she understands multiple applicants were interested in serving, yet this one was the choice. I have concerns about objectivity and experience. In his February 5th application, Anderson cited his experience with ethics regulations. During my time as a state and federal employee, I have been subject to and complied with strict ethics regulations. So this story just continues to kind of develop. Last week, the city council approved hiring outside legal counsel to advise the ethics board amid objections from the mayor and his attorney. Actually, no, this was the beginning of the process was then. But then, after the approval of the outside legal counsel to advise the ethics board, the next day, Denny nominated Anderson. However, the nomination was not brought to a vote at the February 11th council meeting after the mayor said the nominee had withdrawn for scheduling reasons. So now Anderson is now back being nominated. Rasmussen, according to the Wausau Pilot, also noted that City Attorney Ann Jacobson expressed concerns about the nomination's appropriateness. Rasmussen said, I did note that the city attorney seemed concerned about the appropriateness and optics of any mayor appointing someone to an ethics board while there is an active complaint in process that they are subject of. Jacobson did not respond to a request for comment from the pilot. She has recused herself from the case due to a conflict of interest, as she could be called as a witness. All mayoral appointments require city council confirmation. So, there's a lot still going on with this. And also, something that I did not realize until I saw this story in the pilot, the terms of two full ethics board's members, Doug Hostler, as I mentioned earlier, and Robyn DeVos, are set to expire on April 30th. If they do not wish to continue, their departures could create quorum challenges, especially as Palmer, citing conflict, has recused herself from the complaint against the mayor. However, quorum may not be an issue if Hostler and DeVos remain. A Wisconsin Supreme Court ruling in 2022 established that appointed officials can stay in their roles until a successor is confirmed. And that is, of course, the Fred Prane precedent. Man, that brings back memories. When I first started this program, I spent a lot of time talking about our friendly Wausau dentist, Fred Prain, who refused to leave the Wisconsin National Natural Resources Board after his 6-year term expired back in May 2021. He just hung around and hung around and hung around. So now I guess they're going to turn the tables a little bit on that. But the reason, and as I said, I do not believe that being somebody that has either been a previous supporter of a politician or even given money to a politician should mean that they are disqualified from serving on these boards. Again, if they come in and they're interviewed and they question and they prove beyond a doubt that, hey, they're able to set aside political beliefs and be able to make a fair decision based on any facts, then I think there's no problem at all. The issue I have right now, and we see it over and over again, is that these pro-MAGA folks seem to just ignore evidence, ignore the law, ignore everything to protect one of their own. And in fact, just this morning, as I was going through some websites and social media just to see what is happening, Mark Jacob put out on Blue Sky an interesting link to an article. And of course, Mark Jacob is somebody that appears every Friday on Up North News with Pat Kreitlow, and somebody I enjoy listening to, talking about a lot of different issues, including the media. But he put out a link about an assault investigation in Washington, D.C. Corey Mills. In fact, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C. is under some heat because of a pro-Trump federal prosecutor's office brushed off an arrest warrant for a MAGA representative. Representative Corey Mills, a Donald Trump ally in Congress. And the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington declined to sign an arrest warrant sent to them by local police for this Republican congressman who happens to be an ally of Trump. Florida Representative Corey Mills, a Trump supporter in his second term, is under investigation for an alleged assault against a 27-year-old woman in D.C. Though questions have arisen in recent days about the circumstances surrounding the authorities' response. Police reports obtained by NBC and Politico indicate an alleged incident involving the Republican at a luxury penthouse apartment on Wednesday afternoon. Mills has denied the allegations, but authorities are now under pressure to provide answers. The D.C. Metropolitan Police Department issued an arrest warrant for Mills, but then the U.S. Attorney's Office ignored it. The warrant was not signed. It was sent back to the Metropolitan Police for further investigation, and the Attorney's Office is not commenting on the report, claiming it does not comment on uncharged cases. It's uncharged because they're not charging. The decision raises questions about why the U.S. Attorney's Office made the decision to refuse the case. Ed Martin, and I'm going to have more on this man named Ed Martin coming up because, again, he is indicating that he is serving Donald Trump and not the Constitution in another area. But this is a completely different investigation. But Martin, the Trump appointee who's been the interim U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia since Trump took office, has made a series of unusual statements in public support of the president and also Elon Musk. That is the issue that I have with this appointee from the mayor of Wausau, this mega proud appointee. They have proven that they have not had the ability to put aside political beliefs to let the evidence dictate any vote in a certain situation. If this person can prove to us that he will not let his mega ideology overrule everything else, then yes, he would be able, I think, very much with a good feeling for everybody to sit on a board. We're going to take a quick time out, come back with more here on 98.9 WXCO.
When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful, a miracle. Oh, it was beautiful, magical. And all the birds in the trees, will they be singing so happily, oh, joyfully, oh, playfully, watching me. But then they sent me away, teach me how to be sensible, logical, oh, responsible, practical. And then they show me a way.
Chad Holmes with you here on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. You can join us by calling or texting at 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297. Coming up at 9:06, we'll be joined by Robyn Vargas of the Marathon County Public Library. But trying to connect here a little bit, and I don't know whether I'm doing it as effectively as I want to. This nomination that was put in by the mayor of Wausau to the ethics board, not for the board itself, but as an alternate member of the Wausau Ethics Board, Dylan Anderson, who is a Constituent Services Director for Republican U.S. Representative Tom Tiffany. And as I said, I'm trying to put into perspective here what folks on these boards need to be able to prove they're able to do. And that is whether you're somebody that has had maybe support of Democratic politicians or Republican politicians, the idea that you are able to serve on a board and be able to give a fair judgment based on evidence. And one thing that we have seen when it comes to MAGA is that they ignore evidence. That's why I bring up this idea of what's going on in Washington, where a pro-Trump MAGA congressman is supposed to be arrested. The District of Columbia Police put out a warrant for the arrest of this U.S. Representative Mills, Corey Mills, but yet the U.S. attorney, who is a MAGA supporter, an interim U.S. attorney put in by Donald Trump, says, nope, not going to do it. And then this same attorney, Ed Martin, has been putting out statements that indicate he is not working for the United States. He is not working for the Constitution, but he is the lawyer of Donald Trump. In fact, yesterday on X, when it came to this issue with the Associated Press went to court to try to overturn a banning of certain White House activities to be covered because they refuse to kowtow to Trump and call it the Gulf of America as opposed to the Gulf of Mexico. And this attorney put out this statement yesterday, and it's disgusting. Edward R. Martin Jr. on the U.S. Attorney for D.C. X page put out, as President Trump's lawyers, we are proud to fight to protect his leadership as our president, and we are vigilant in standing against entities like the AP that refuse to put America first. It is not the job of the United States attorneys to fight entities that refuse to put America first. And he is not President Trump's lawyers. The duties of each U.S. attorney's office, as defined by U.S. Code, are 1, prosecute federal crimes, 2, represent the United States in civil actions, and 3, collect debts owed to the federal government, which are administratively uncollectible. Nowhere does it say you serve as the president's lawyers and to serve to protect the leadership of Donald Trump. So that is the question mark I have about this nomination of Dylan Anderson, somebody who proudly put on Trump boat shows, somebody that's proudly supported Donald Trump, somebody that's proudly supported MAGA. Again, my doubt is with MAGA. And there's a difference between MAGA and Republican and conservative. MAGA is a whole different animal. Because over and over again, like in this example of Corey Mills, you see MAGA protects MAGA above anything else. And as I've said before, I did not think that the mayor of Wausau was MAGA during this campaign. I thought he was conservative. I thought that he was more conservative, obviously, than Mayor Rosenberg. But in the end, that he was not MAGA. I was wrong. Because when he pulled that stunt, removing the drop box, that was pure MAGA. That was a MAGA move. And the idea of continually doubling down, refusing to admit that he did not have the power to remove that drop box, that the Wisconsin Supreme Court put it in the hands of not the mayor. The mayor did not have the opportunity to do that. But again, it's these mega moves. And in order for me to be comfortable putting somebody like Dylan Anderson on this board, or even as an alternate on this board, he would have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he would be able to put aside his mega beliefs. That if the evidence showed that the mayor committed an ethics violation, that he would be able to say, yes, I would vote that he did commit an ethics violation. And that goes for those on the left that may have had connections with those in Democratic Party politics. You got to be able to prove before being put on to a board like this that you're able to take the evidence, and if the evidence shows that the mayor did not commit an ethics violation, to be able to vote, hey, clear the mayor of those charges. So again, there's a lot there, I tell you. Coming up, an information update, and then Robyn Vargas from the Marathon County Public Library coming up after that here on WXCO.
All I need is a TV show, that and the radio. Down on my luck again, down on my luck again. I can show you some of the people in my life. I can show you some of the people in my life.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, February the 25th of 2025. Beautiful start here in north central Wisconsin. Temperature is up to 37 degrees under fair skies. I am Chad Holmes. It is hour number 2 of the Chad Holmes Show. 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. You can also join us again by going to our YouTube page. Yep, youtube.com. Don't go to the Civic Media page because that has our network show on it right now. But if you go to our WXCO 98.9 WXCO YouTube channel, you'll be able to see us here live. And for the first hour, you just see me. But now you get to see somebody much, much, much more photogenic than myself. Robyn Vargas.
Good morning.
Marathon County Public Library. Good to have you on board again.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
I tell you, it's a nice day to walk on over, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, it was so nice. I was so happy. It's like I forgot my hat this morning and I was like, oh no. And then I got outside and I was like, I actually don't think I need it. I'm okay.
It almost makes you say, man, we might be getting close to spring.
Yes. Yeah. No, there are so many birds chirping. It sounds like they know, like they're signaling to us, spring is here, get ready.
Absolutely. Fantastic. But it's always great to have you on board here to talk about what's going on at the library. And I guess before we talk about what's happening, how have things been going? Has it been a good time at the library recently? Anything special?
Been very busy, at least in Wausau. I'll say that because that's the location that I work at.
Right.
But February has been a very busy month. I think a lot of folks were just kind of cooped up at home with those cold temps, and everyone has been at the library lately, which has just been great. We love staying busy and helping people and seeing folks check things out and bring them back and all that good stuff.
Something when I was driving, I actually went to lunch the other day, and I'm coming back here to the station, and I swear almost every day I drive past the library. It's a wonderful location, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah. Easily, you can get to it easily. It's a great location. People are passing by. Yeah.
And of course, there's always the branch libraries as well that we talk about. But let's jump in.
Yeah, for sure.
What is coming up here? And again, I hate using the term. I can't believe, but we're almost to March.
It is almost March. Yeah.
So what is going on as we wrap up February and heading to March?
Yeah, for sure. So we only have, I would say, just a few events left for February. In Wausau, we have our family story time on Thursday. That's kind of just started up again this February on Thursdays. And so we have that at 10 a.m. for folks with littles. But this Saturday at our Wausau location, we've been doing our Year of Ghibli. So fans of Studio Ghibli movies will be showing Spirited Away this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. So in our community room, come on up, get cozy, bring your own snacks and watch a movie with us. I think we're also having some buttons that we're making. And so it's kind of like if you come to one, you get that button and then kind of collect them all throughout the year. And there might be something at the end, who knows? But that could be kind of fun, if you like to collect things.
Let me ask you that, because that got me intrigued. There might be.
I want to say yes. I just don't want to make any promises.
Oh, you're so smart.
But here's the thing. At the end, at least you'll end up with 12 buttons.
There you
go.
But,
so there's that.
I'm gonna have to put a mental note.
Yeah, check back in December.
Because I don't want to hear this might be. I think you and the other folks have to make sure there's something at the end special.
There will be,
for anybody that goes through every month,
single one.
And all 12 would be,
yeah.
We're going to All right. That's
hold us to it.
my
Yeah,
mental
yeah.
my mental check. Okay. I'm sorry, but what,
Sounds good.
what else there?
Yeah. So that's in Wausau. But in Stratford, we have a couple educational programs happening. So this Thursday on the 27th, we have a Medicaid Basics program from 4 to 5. So, if you're getting to be that age, you need some more information about it. It's a really good place to learn some of those facts.
I'm getting closer and closer.
You're
I tell
not that
you.
close.
Oh, I'm getting closer and closer.
But yeah, I mean, some of that information, it can be kind of tricky to figure out on your own or to try and Google and all this, mumbo jumbo that you don't understand, all these legal things. And
something I've noticed over the years that we've been talking to you and then Chad before that is there's so many of these kind of programs, that's the best way of putting it, whether it is through healthcare, whether it's computer technology.
Yep.
That's one of the areas that it seems as though that the library is really good at, especially for older people, as technology changes, and in this case, whereas you get older and you get a possibility of a new healthcare program, that really is a focus at the library, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously like really fun to offer the fun, exciting programs. Like, build with Legos. That's awesome. But it's really important to kind of get programs for all of the areas of our community,
right.
and to have, it's important for folks to learn that information. And so it's important for the library to offer it. And we're proud to offer programs like that.
Build the Legos and build your healthcare.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Again, we're talking to Robyn Vargas from the Marathon County Public Library here on 98.9 WXCO. Robyn joins us every other Tuesday morning to tell us about what is going on at the main library here in downtown Wausau, and also at the branch libraries throughout the area. But again, a lot of stuff going on. What else is happening?
Yeah. So also in Stratford, not healthcare related, but landlord and tenant rights and responsibilities. So that one's happening next week on March 6th, a Thursday at 5:30 p.m. So whether you're either a landlord or a tenant, you can come and find out more information about what rights you have. Someone from the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection is leading the program, and they're going to provide some take-home resources, some pamphlets and booklets, and kind of lay it all out for you. And any questions you have, you can bring them up to them, and they'll answer them. And again, it's one of those things where it's kind of tricky to Google some of that information and figure out on your own. And so come talk to someone who knows all the ins and outs about it.
And frankly, it's good to do something like that where you're proactive and not waiting until there's an issue.
Right.
To have that little bit of information, have a little bit of background, because then if something happens, and all of a sudden you say, oh, that doesn't seem right. And so often somebody can try to slide something past you and it just doesn't seem right. But if you have that basic information, that goes a long way.
Yeah. Yep. So that one's in Stratford. Then in Mosinee this weekend, starting on Saturday, March 1st through March 13th, they're doing a craft supply and game swap. You can include puzzles in there too. So maybe start your spring cleaning this weekend. Go through if you have any, craft materials. You bought a whole bunch of yarn because you thought you were going to get into crocheting and now you don't use it. Drop it off at the Mosinee branch. And then on March 13th from 5 to 7, anyone can come on in and pick out something new.
Oh, wow. Very, very nice. Indeed. And again, it's really cool how the library does have so many great activities at the branches. I mean, it would be so easy just to have the main stuff at the main library, but it seems as though, the folks that work at the branch libraries are so very active, and it allows folks to, sometimes just be able to walk to the library for some of these great activities.
For sure. And to be right in their community,
Before we continue any more activities, I did see, and this, I tell you, if I wasn't busy here all the time, I think I'd walk over there, that you're looking for a library assistant.
We sure
I
are.
saw it on your Facebook page from yesterday. And I got to say, if I was ready to walk away and start my my semi-retirement, that would be so much fun to work at the library.
It's a fantastic place to work.
Can you tell us a little bit about this position and maybe what you look for? I mean, for folks maybe thinking, well, I may not have that exact experience, but maybe other experiences that would fit in.
Yeah. So this position is for a library assistant on our circulation team. So working that main desk. So answering, the calls that come in and whatever questions they have about any holds or materials, or transferring those calls elsewhere, but then also helping out, kind of with some of that check-in, check-out, the holds processes, Yeah, all that good stuff, but a lot of it is really customer focused and
Right.
oriented, and so we're really looking for someone who is friendly and wanting to work with the public and really just someone who is there for our library
Yeah.
and to bring the library to our public and yeah.
Fantastic. So again, I saw the link as well on the Facebook page, but if you go to the main website as well, I'm sure there's an opportunity
It sure
to
is, yeah.
find more details about the position, mcpl.us. But again, if you go to their Facebook page, there's mcpl.us/about/employment/
Yeah.
easier just to go right there and click on it.
Correct.
But that sounds like a really great opportunity for folks. So
yeah, 30 hours a week. It's a good,
you know what?
one
Right
night a
here
week,
downtown
but
Wausau, just it
yeah,
really
it's
is
a great location.
exactly right. But we got about 2 minutes to go. Anything else that we need to talk about in terms of activities coming up?
Yeah, we'll go back to the branches for a minute here. In Edgar, coming up on this Monday, March 3rd, they're doing a World Wildlife Day from 3 to 5 p.m. So kind of for teens, tweens, kids that age, but just different crafts and activities all about endangered animals. They're going to have some live footage on a screen of animals across the world, kind of just in their natural habitats. So showing that, but any kids who are interested in animals, and that'll be a really fun activity.
I think kids are kind of interested in animals.
They kind of are. Yeah, they love animals. That is, I worked in an elementary school library for many years, and that was one of the things that every single time they came to the library, they want to know where the animal books are. And so I'm like, pick a Dewey Decimal Number for those animals. I got it. But yes,
cool.
kids love animals for sure. So that'll be a fun one to come out to.
Fantastic. And anything else?
Yeah, well,
there's
always
something else.
Yeah.
One
so this
final
one
thing.
for teens and adults at Marathon City on March 5th, you can make your own lavender gnome. So out of dried lavender, you'll fill it in, and it'll be something good to smell. Kind of calm yourself. Fill your home, do some of that spring cleaning, and bring a good scent in.
I should know better than to say anything else because there's always
there's always something.
But Robyn Vargas, Marathon County Public Library, again, thanks a lot. Enjoy the wonderful weather. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a time out. Be right back. The time is 9:18. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
Will you ever come again? Smooth skin, soft and white. Lose ourselves within the night. Dance inside the dream, the circle.
The Wausau West High School hockey team is just 2 wins away from a trip to the state tournament. On Tuesday, the Warriors will play host to New Richmond in a Division I sectional semifinal. Hear all the exciting action live on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app, starting with the pregame show at 6:50 and the opening face-off at 7 p.m. Wausau West Hockey on 98.9 WXCO is brought to you by the Cloverbell Credit Union, Red Robin Restaurants, Sun Printing, the Wausau West Athletic Department, Coast to Coast Marketing, and the Wausau West Hockey Booster Club. It's Wausau West versus New Richmond in a Division I hockey sectional semifinal. Tuesday night, starting with pregame show at 6:50, opening face-off at 7 on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app.
If you want me, you can find me left of center off of the strip. In the outskirts and in the fringes, in the corner out of the grip. If you want me, you can find me left of center off of the strip. In the outskirts and in the fringes, in the corner out of the grip. When they ask me, what are you looking at? I always answer, nothing much, not much. I think they know that I'm looking at them. I think they think I must be out of touch, but I'm only in the outskirts and in the fringes, on the edge and off the avenue. And if you want me, you can find me left of center, wondering about you.
Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app, and also at YouTube.com on the 98.9 WXCO channel. The time is 9:23. Did not have a proper introduction of one Mr. Ian Welsh in our last segment because we had Robyn Vargas in, and always great to talk about what's happening at the library with Robyn, but need to say good morning to Ian Welsh.
Good morning, Chad.
And because
another beautiful day.
Oh man, just gorgeous. I was saying to
as windy as it was yesterday.
I was saying to Robyn before she left here just a moment ago. So she's talking about, oh, well, it's wonderful to walk back to the library. I've heard some rumbles, and we may have to talk to Brittney about this starting tomorrow, that we could get a significant snowstorm next week. But I also saw a social media posting from a TV meteorologist saying, hey, don't start right now because we're too far out to really know what's going to happen next week. We don't know if there's going to be a big snowstorm. It could be some rain. It could be whatever it is. So don't start
don't focus on the weather next week until you're on the weekend of this week.
Exactly. So it'll be like March the 4th. People say, oh, it could be like 7 inches, 10 inches, whatever it may be. No, let's let it develop a little bit more, because we've heard from Brittney and others that you can't really predict what's going to happen a couple of weeks from now, or even
an old
week and a half.
Saying that we should remember is don't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Exactly right. And that's something that you do every day when it comes to the number for the day quiz.
That is so true.
You can't count those chickens before they hatch. And what we do is every day during our daily history segment that we finish things up with a number for the day, and we've turned it into a quiz for Ian. And we give Ian 3 choices, 2 of which are incorrect and 1 is right. So based on the math, he should get 1 out of 3 right, 33%. And anything above 33% is a passing grade. But the last few weeks have been a struggle, and has not had a passing grade for 3 straight weeks. And now he's 0 for 1 this week. But we are looking to turn it around starting today.
Absolutely.
And I think it's time for us to give the topic for today's number for the day.
Okay, I'm ready. What is today's topic?
Veterans in the United States federal workforce. Because we've been hearing a lot of news lately about cuts to the federal workforce led by Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And there's been some talk about a number of veterans being part of the federal workforce. Well, today's number
Okay.
for the day will involve the veterans who are part of the U.S. federal workforce. So something
Okay.
to kind of stew on as we get through the rest of the program. But we need you to get it right because too many of the last number of weeks,
Yeah.
you started off with a tough start, and then all of a sudden you're trying to dig out of a hole. It's sort of like tonight. I'm going to be doing this hockey playoff game.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to play from ahead than play from behind.
Absolutely.
So we're going to try to get you that first big W here today.
Definitely need it.
And try to get you going here. So that will be, again, coming up at the very end of the show, the number for the day and our number for the day quiz. Anything else happening? Anything else? I know that it's been a while since you've been involved in any shows. Are we getting close? I think we're within a couple of weeks of some auditions, right?
Actually, quite a few things are happening in the theater world. Now that Children's Theater has finished with their latest show, Les Mis, they're moving on to their next big show. They've actually started rehearsals for the Enchanted a Bookshop musical. That's going to be happening, I believe, in like the end of March and into April, I believe. Even then, last night and tonight as well, River and Woods, a theater company, is having auditions for their next show, 9 to 5. That's going to be a musical, and there's quite a few people signed up for auditions, so it should be a really good a show. I hope they have a lot of good talent come out and audition for that show as well. And then Wausau Community Theater, not this weekend, but next weekend, is going to have auditions for their summer show, Anastasia. So
lots going on
coming up.
Yeah, I tell you, it's great to hear that so many people are interested in auditioning and being part of a lot of great shows and also great organizations that we're fortunate to have here in the Wausau area. So, I'm sure many of those groups are on Facebook, and you can check out information on their auditions and a whole bunch more there. So fantastic.
Yeah, they have them on their websites and their Facebook pages as well.
Terrific.
Be sure to check those out.
Coming up, we have an information update, news, weather, sports, entertainment. We do it at the top and bottom of every hour here on 98.9 WXCO. And we're going to have, there's a category on Jeopardy from time to time called potpourri. We're going to have some potpourri coming up. We're going to have different topics and go through things a little more quickly coming up next.
Okay.
The time is 9:29. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. This week in high school sports, state tournament bids will be handed out in high school hockey. The girls' basketball playoffs getting underway, and the boys wrapping up their regular season. We'll talk all about it Wednesday from 6 till 8 p.m. on the Big High School Sports Show on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. I'm Chad Holmes, join Jeff Gress and myself, plus our special guests. At 7:06, it'll be our student athlete guest for this week, multi-sport athlete from DC Everest, Cohen Prevey. And then at 7:25, our coach guest, first-year Mosinee girls basketball coach Josh Howe. It is the Big High School Sports Show, presented by K5 Construction, Wednesday night, 6 till 8 p.m. on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app.
Life is so strange when you don't know how can you tell where you're going to. You can't be sure of any situation. Something could change, and then you won't know. Where do we go from here? It seems so near, just as far beyond as I can see. I still don't know what this all means to me. I'll have nowhere to go.
Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO. And on the Civic Media app. Beautiful morning. Beautiful start as I take a peek out the window, out onto Washington Street. Sun is shining, temperature already into the upper 30s. Should be a terrific day, but then a little bit of precipitation coming in later tonight into tomorrow. So keep an eye on the roads, especially for the morning drive tomorrow. Could be a little bit icy out there. But enjoy today. And now our potpourri segment. We're going to go through a few different subject matters here in the next few minutes. Want to start with sports because last night we started the final week of the boys basketball regular season. Last night here on WXCO had the Newman Catholic Cardinals in action. They fell to Assumption 78-44. Also last night, a thrilling win for Marathon in the Merriwood Conference South. The Red Raiders needed double overtime to defeat Edgar 88-81, and a battle between the top two teams in that conference saw the Stratford Tigers roll past Auburndale 56-33. Also last evening, Northern Lutheran gave a battle to Pittsfield, but in the end, Pittsfield defeated the Wildcats 55-52. Also last night, Merrill loses to Rhinelander 65-46. It was Mosinee doubling up Antigo 80-40. Also in boys hoops, Athens beat Abbotsford 74-68. And Wittenberg-Burnhamwood lost to Shawano by a score of 72-58. Tonight, playoffs. Lots of playoffs going on. Boys hockey sectional semifinals. Teams need 2 more wins to earn a trip to next week's state tournament. And the Wausau West Warriors in Division 1, Sectional 1, will play host to a New Richmond. Battle of 2 of the top 6 ranked teams in the state. Should be a good one at the Marathon Park Ice Arena. I will have live coverage of that one, starting with the pregame show at 6:50 and the opening face-off at 7 o'clock, right here on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Also tonight, some area teams in action in Division 2 in boys hockey sectional play. Mosinee will be home at the Mosinee Rec Center taking on Lakeland. Winner moves on to a sectional final on Friday night. And Tomahawk is in action hosting Northern Pines. The winners of the Mosinee, Lakeland, and Tomahawk Pines games will meet in the sectional final Friday evening. Girls hockey sectionals. Defending state champion Central Wisconsin Storm will be at Greenheck Turner Fieldhouse taking on Wisconsin Valley Union. So again, Storm looking to make it back-to-back state championships, but they got to take care of business in the sectionals starting tonight. And also, girls basketball playoffs get underway. Basketball regional action. DC Everest at home against Appleton West. Merrill travels to New Richmond. Wausau East will visit Medford. Northern Lutheran is at Loyal. Newman Catholic hits the road for Greenwood. Athens tonight will have a playoff game in girls hoops at Elman Bancroft. Tomahawk is home against Sturgeon Bay. Abbotsford travels to Cadott. Edgar is home against Colby. Also this evening, Port Edwards at Pacelli as well. And a little bit of boys basketball regular season action. Wausau West tonight. Next to last game of the season in the regular season for the Warriors. They will host Chippewa Falls. Also, Edgar is at Port Edwards tonight as well. So plenty of high school action. And hopefully, if you're not at Marathon Park tonight, you can join me right here on 98.9 WXCO for that big Wausau West playoff hockey game this evening. Also, came across a story last night. Jon Stewart does Mondays on The Daily Show.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like myself, Jon Stewart sometimes gets the energy going.
He's very entertaining.
Yep. But sometimes he wants to make a point.
Mm-hmm.
And last night, he got angry about Donald Trump and Elon Musk and their budget cuts via the Department of Government Efficiency. And Stewart said, you know, he would also like to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, but then went after the effort to instead target everyday workers and relatively low-cost programs. He said, you should take on the oil industry, which reaps billions in government subsidies, pharmaceutical companies, which develop drugs with the help of taxpayer money and then sell those medications back to the public at top dollar while also enjoying extra protections from the federal government. And he got so angry when he was talking about this, he smashed his hand. He smashed his mug.
Oh, jeez.
In outrage, and he started bleeding because he smashed his mug and his hand got cut.
Oof.
And Stewart said to the audience, I'm going to the hospital, after a quick look at the injured hand, which he kept out of sight behind the desk for much of the rest of the segment. When he brought it out near the end of the monologue, still bleeding, the audience groaned in unison. He yelled, I'm fine. But then later in the show, during an interview with a Georgetown law professor, Stewart continued to keep that hand out of sight. And when it did briefly appear, it was bandaged, but there was still blood seeping through.
You got to be careful with those mugs, because if you smash it on a hard surface, it will hurt a lot.
So I hope he went, got it stitched up
to the hospital
after the show ended. But that's what we do behind the mic, no matter what. Going to keep on plowing forward when it comes to keeping the show going on. So
and that's why you have a plastic water bottles instead of a glass coffee mug.
And speaking about things that frustrate the public, and I think also show that there's something wrong within the system. It's when former members of Congress move on and make obscene amounts of money based on, just who you know and based on being a former congressman. And it's wrong. It's not earning great amounts of money. It's just using your position and basically, selling out being a representative of the government and then making obscene amounts of money.
It's terrible.
And it comes this time in the example of a man named Devin Nunes. He is a former congressman from California. He was a Trump ally during Trump's first term in office. And then after Trump left office, Nunes left office as well. And Nunes, after he left office, he was hired by Trump media. And despite really not having any sort of qualifications for the position, he is somebody that basically ran a family farm before going into Congress. And to become CEO and director of the company without any of that kind of business background caught some people off guard. But it was announced that Devin Nunes who earned basically a little less than $200,000 a year as a congressman, earned $47 million in total compensation as CEO of Trump Media and Technology Group last year, although he won't be able to get his hands on all of it until March of 2027. In addition to his $1 million base salary, the former Republican congressman received a $600,000 bonus, $44.1 million in stock awards, and $1.2 million in additional stock compensation for running the parent company of President Donald Trump's Truth Social platform. His compensation, this number just blows my mind. It marks a 6,200% increase from the $750,000 he earned in 2023 before the company went public. All right. You can argue that the CEO of a company could make an obscene amount of money in bonuses if the company was profitable, if it was successful. But Trump Media, I got two numbers for you.
Okay.
One number is 401 million and the other is 3.6 million.
Jeez.
So 401 million and 3.6 million. The 401 million is Trump Media's net loss in 2024. The 3.6 million was sales. So this is a company that had no sales and obscene amounts of lost money. It's basically just a money bag for mega folks. It's pathetic. Michelle Leader, the editor of Footnote.com, an expert on SEC filing, said, typically, there's some sort of correlation between how well a company is doing and the CEO's pay.
Right.
When a company loses over $400 million and gives its CEO a $44 million grant, you have to wonder what they're being rewarded for.
That's right.
And it wasn't just Nunez. Trump Media's chief technology officer had a compensation of $20 million.
Jeez.
Chief financial officer made $14.2 million. And board members, including the current Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, and Donald Trump Jr., each received more than $800,000 each for their, quote, work, mostly in stock. And Kash Patel, the new FBI director, he could have got compensation, but he declined it. I mean, that is the kind of stuff that does make folks cynical, because you have somebody that was in Congress, and then because of his connections in the MAGA world with Donald Trump, he gets this obscene amount of money for failing at his job, because you cannot argue that he succeeded at his job when you had the amount of sales being basically $4 million and the losses being the obscene amount of money of being 44, of being, what was it again? 401 million.
It's outrageous.
It is outrageous. But the thing about it is that makes people cynical. It's not just MAGA. It's not just Republicans. You see Democrats do this all the time as well. They'll leave their position. They'll become a lobbyist or work for some other company based on their previous position and make obscene amounts of money. There is a cynicism that is well-deserved because of this. So, again, I just thought that's ridiculous. So that's our little potpourri segment. The time is 9:48. Coming up next, we will have our daily history lesson. Take a look at some of the famous events that occurred on this date in history, birthdays, and more. And then we will have our daily number for the day quiz.
Yes.
Find out if Ian can get back on the winning track. So that's coming up. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
You're talking, it seems fair. You promise your love, how much you care. I'm still listening, but still unsure. Your actions are lacking, nothing is clear. No more words. Tell me you love me while you're looking away. No more words. No more words, and feeling so true. I'm looking for a long romance.
One more thing before we go to our daily history lesson that, again, reason to be cynical about so much in government and the amount of corruption that we're seeing right now in this administration. In the last hour, it's been reported that the Federal Aviation Administration has agreed to use SpaceX's Starlink internet system to upgrade the information technology networks it uses to manage U.S. airspace, raising new concerns about conflicts of interest for CEO Elon Musk in one of his other roles, that of recommending funding cuts at federal agencies, including the FAA. The level of corruption within this administration knows no bounds. And they have the gall to say they're draining the swamp. The swamp is going to cover the entire country if this continues. But I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow on the program, because I think that's, again, shows that this conflict of interest doesn't mean anything to Trump. Corruption means nothing to Trump. And the outrageousness of it is pathetic. And it leads to cynicism, and it leads to cracks in our system. So that's something I thought I'd pass along. But let's get into it. Our daily history lesson today. It is February the 25th of 2025. And in terms of day number, that means we are up to a day number 56 of this year. There are 309 days remaining in the year 2025. Some famous events have occurred on this date in history. On this date in 1919, Oregon placed a 1 cent per U.S. gallon tax on gasoline, becoming the first U.S. state to levy a gasoline tax. On this date in 1940, a hockey game was televised for the first time by a New York City TV station. The New York Rangers beat the Montreal Canadiens 6-2 at Madison Square Garden. On this date in 2009, it was revealed by the White House staff that President Obama is handed a special purple folder every day. The folder contains 10 letters, culled from the thousands the White House Correspondence Office receives each day from Americans who have taken the time to sit down and to write to their president.
Aww. That's cool.
I know it, and I doubt that Donald Trump does the same thing.
No, I don't think so.
On this date in 2020, a memorial service for NBA star Kobe Bryant was held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Some celebrity birthdays. Wrestler Ric Flair, 76 years old today. Comedian Carrot Top turned 60. Actor Tia Leone, 59 years old today. Sean Astin from Rudy, The Goonies, Stranger Things, The Lord of the Rings, 54 years old today.
Fantastic actor.
Comedian Chelsea Handler is 50. And Rashida Jones of The Office and Parks and Recreation, 49 years old today. And if you out there celebrating your birthday, happy birthday to you from all of us at 98.9 WXCO. Special events today. 10 months until Christmas.
Jeez, we're starting that countdown already. Okay.
Yep, 10 months from today, Christmas Day. Let's all eat right day. I won't be celebrating that. I'll be eating badly again today.
I'll try to, but I'll probably break it.
Chocolate covered peanuts day.
That sounds good.
Clam chowder day. And quiet day. So, all right.
Nothing wrong with having a little quiet now and then.
Yep, now and then it's good to have a little bit of quiet.
Okay.
All right, time for our number for the day quiz. And every day we give Ian 3 choices when it comes to the number for the day. 2 are wrong, 1 is right. So that means 1 out of 3. 33%. That's our goal. 33%. Above 33%, it's a passing grade. Below 33%, it's a failing grade. We would like to see him make it up to a winning week, which is more right than wrong. And his best week ever is 4 out of 5.
Yeah, but this week I'm just hoping to get to the passing mark. So the topic was veterans
in the federal workforce.
Yes, in the U.S. federal workforce.
All right. Our number for the day is the percentage of the U.S. federal workforce that are veterans.
Okay.
Is the correct answer A, 10%, B, 20%, C, 30%.
Percentage of people in the U.S. federal workforce who are veterans, right?
Exactly.
10%, 20%, or 30%. Okay. Let's see.
Put it all together.
Yeah. Put it all together. This is in the U.S. Okay. Percentage of
Ripped from the headlines because Elon Musk DOGE has been cutting back in a lot of federal positions, and there's been note that a number of these positions held by veterans.
Okay, I'm going to say 30%. I'm going to go with C. That's my final answer. I'm going to go with a 30%.
Again, you dug in. I saw the sweat pouring down your face.
You saw the steam coming out of my ears. Yeah.
All right. The correct answer, percentage of the U.S. federal workforce that are veterans is 30%.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
1 for 2.
At least now I'm even.
So now you need 1 more in order to get that passing grade, and 2 more in order to have a winning week.
That's pretty good.
Hey, that will give
good.
you a spring in your step as you leave today.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, have a good rest of your day.
You too, Chad. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Don't forget tomorrow morning I'll be sub-hosting for Pat Kreitlow 6 till 8 a.m. and then we'll have our normal show from 8 till 10 tomorrow morning. We'll have Bob Look in the first hour, Sean Wright, and also the 4 Wausau West Warrior girls wrestlers that are heading to the state tournament.
Yep.
That's all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Keep it right here on 98.9 WXCO.
Some of the people